Alrighty, so here we go. This is my opinion on Finding My Pack by Lane Witt. Okay, I didn't particularly care for this one. I gave it a 2 out of 5 because the whole premise of it is there's this girl named Kitten who is living on the streets and ends up getting picked up by these 8 guys to live it with them, and they all have an inexplicable attraction to her. So, for one thing, I thought at first this was going to be, that she has these 8 different guys, they're all going to be in love with her to some degree, and she's going to have to pick which one she wants. No, it does not do that. This goes full polyamory. This is she ends up with all 8 of these guys, which is fine. But my problem with it is that the guys are so cookie cutter of just, oh, here's your one thing. This is what you are. There's the mechanic, who's the big tough guy. There's the cook, who's the sweetheart. There's the sensitive artist. There's the leader, and that's all he is just, I lead. I'm trying to think who else has 4 of them. Who else? Oh, there's the smart guy who does issues with his expressing his feels. There's the doctor who, he works in a clinic and is a nice guy. There's the asshole guy who's not actually an asshole. He's a jerk at first, but warms up to her eventually. And I am missing one of them. Who am I missing? Oh God. Oh, and the fashionista. There's a guy who's all about fashion design and art in a different sense. So yeah, the problem is most of them are just oh, here's your one character trait. That's it. You also find out that in this world there are born wolves and there are bitten wolves. Apparently bitten wolves are way stronger and immortal, where born wolves are not as strong as bitten wolves, and they do age slower, but they will eventually die. Which I was like, okay, that's a pretty valid reason why they're not changing wolves left, right, and center, because these changed wolves are stronger than the born wolves. So, alright, it's a fine reason that also ostracizes these 8 guys. But the one thing that also bothered me is, you start finding out a little bit about their backstories, and I mean just a little bit, because some of them say, they're hundreds of years old, and I'm like, and you find out 2 of them are Irish, and one is the son of a duke. Don't know from where. It could be English, it could be French, it could be freaking Italian for all I know. But they don't have any accents or anything that tells you where they're from. They just all sound like just American, because I think this takes place in the US. I honestly don't remember. Kitten, also, I found her very bland because she's just so nice and so forgiving, and I mean, the only thing she has is this weirdly possessive streak in her, which of course, guess what? The twist is, oh, she's actually a born wolf from the oldest family, which basically makes her a fucking princess. Yeah, she gets captured at the end by her evil uncle, because of course she has an evil uncle. But the thing was, when the plot actually happened in this, I was a little bit interested in it. When they start talking about the family and the born wolves, but it happens so infrequently, and then the final shit happens in the last 10 minutes. The last 2 hours I was listening to this at double speed because I wanted to get through it. So yeah, it was fun listening to Alvin and the Chipmunks do this. That they, try to kidnap her, fail, but then she gets taken away anyway, and she gets kidnapped, and all the boys are freaking out because they want to get her back. And I was like, okay, that could have been interesting if that actually happened, but most of the time it's just her having these little one-off moments with all the guys, and it feels like the same stuff repeated over and over again. It's, oh, you're sweet, and oh, she's just so wonderful, and she's so perfect, and they all love her, and none of them get jealous of anything else. They're completely open with the sharing, which, I mean, cool. But it's just because there's also so many of the guys that by the end of it, I was like, okay, I know your main character traits. That's it. Also, the other thing with this that I kind of go, what? Is that at first you're told a Kitten is 16. 16 years old, and these guys who they all look like they're between like 18 and 25 at the oldest, that, you know, they all want to bang her and are like totes down to just go to town with her. And you find out, I'm like, she's 16. She's 16. Oh my god, guys, she's 16. Not just that you are, to begin with, older than her. You are hundreds of years older than her. At least let her be a consenting adult. But no, you find out she just says that she's 16 because she doesn't actually remember how old she is, because she was taken by a crazy cat lady in a dumpster. And the other thing is, like, she's never been in the system. Like, she's lived on the streets her entire life, has been successfully avoiding child services her whole life, which I'm like, that's impressive. And she's like been doing this since she was like 3 years old. I'm like, a 3-year-old? Okay. All right. I don't believe you, but okay. And so yeah, that was the thing, that was just like the age difference, that I was like, oh my god, she's like not even adult. Also, another trope I've realized I have come to hate. I'm willing to let this slide in historical work, or in like historical fictions, is when the female virgin character doesn't understand getting horny. Like, she does not understand how her body is reacting, and like, oh, I'm all tingly. I'm like, yes, you're horny. God damn it, come on, you're horny. And again, I'm willing to let that go in a historical book, like the book I'm listening to right now, the Guardian, the next one out of this group. If it was something like that in that book, where it was like she doesn't understand her body's reaction, that's fine, because in that time period, people didn't talk to women about their bodies, let alone like how it feels when you get aroused. So I'm willing to let it go. But in modern context, and especially, the author seems to want to have it both ways with Kitten, where she's intelligent and very well read, because as she said, she learned how to read and just like read everything in the library. But at the same time, she's very oblivious about certain things. And I'm like, really? You didn't just run across that just out in the open? Like, she doesn't know what a Build-A-Bear is. And I'm like, I know that's kind of a minor thing to be like, huh? But she was a street kid. How did she not like go and hang out in a mall? Like, that would be a place that she could like maybe hide, get out of the rain and everything. That I was just like, wait, you don't. And like, she doesn't know what yoga is, which I was like, I can maybe kind of get that one, but the whole point is that she's very well read, and I'm like, you didn't stumble across the self-help section in the library? Maybe see yoga in the park or something? Like, how do you not know what this is? There's some stuff like that where she's just ignorant of it. Like, she doesn't know, and even with like the technology stuff, that she's like, oh, this guy has a digital camera, and she's like, I don't know how you get them off. Like, the pictures, I was like, do you not even know how like a printer works? Or anything? Like, I don't know, her ignorance feels forced in some places. I don't know. It's like, I get it, she's a street kid, she wouldn't have had access to everything, but a lot of the stuff, it's like, just being around society, how did you not pick up on these things? And she's just so kind and so forgiving, and I'm just like, okay, I don't know. She was just bland, and not to mention the guys are like, oh, she's not a wolf, she doesn't smell like a wolf. I'm like, she's a wolf. I can already tell you that. That's gonna be the big reveal, is that she's going to be a wolf. And then when they introduced this, big primo family, I'm like, she's gonna be a princess. Where's the reveal that she's a princess, more or less? Oh yeah, guess what? Princess time. Yeah, because the whole ending climax of the book is her getting kidnapped by her evil uncle and being tortured, and now it's up to the guys to come save her, or her to try to bust herself out. I don't know. I have zero interest in listening to the next book in the series. Oh, another thing is with the point of view. This is all written first person, which, it doesn't make it or break it for me. The problem is that when I first opened the audiobook, it said there were two readers, a male and a female reader. So I was like, okay, cool. So we're going to get, split perspectives. We don't get our first, like, guy section until, like, the 8th chapter. And even then, it's like every time we get the guys, it's like pinging back and forth between all the different guys really fast. Like, oh, we're with Ash. Oh, now we're with Reaver. Now, da 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 da. So it felt weird to have it. I was like, why is this even here? We don't get a lot from it. I mean, there's like a few scenes that I was like, okay, that was valid. But for the most of the part, I was like, the guys' parts pop up so infrequently that I was like, why even bother having them in? So yeah, Finding My Pack, 2 out of 5. Didn't like. Not a fan. Definitely not a fan. I have started listening to Guardian. Enjoying it so far. I will save my thoughts on that for later. I'm going to try to have that done today, or finish it either tonight or finish it early tomorrow morning and have the new video out. So yeah, damn it, I can't find a good book about werewolves. I'm trying. I am trying to find a wolf book that I actually like, but damn, none of them are hitting. So yeah, there we go. We are now 0 for 3 on werewolves. So that is my opinion on Finding My Pack.